Hello once again everybody and welcome back to the stream. We're going to be flying the Boeing 737-800 today. LOT Airlines, a very special airlines from none other than the north of Poland, Gdansk port city, where all the ships and where all the trade used to be and still is to some extent. It's a very busy place. All the way down through Poland to Hungary, and we're going to be landing in Budapest. Estimated flight time is day is about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Of course, we have to do the start, so we're looking at about 1 hour 50 altogether. So we're going to get started. We're just outside of the ramp. Already got the tow bar, tow slash pushback bar in place, so we're ready to go. So today we're expecting a total of 131 passengers. PAX 131. I have had some issues connecting to VATSIM. I tried to file my flight plan and it said that somebody else had the flight plan. It belonged to somebody else, but I don't know how that is possible and can't connect to the VATSIM X-Pilot thing, so I don't know if I don't know if it's broke or not, so I'll have to wait and see. So we're going to go ahead and get some aircraft features stuck on. We're going to stick a battery on, monitor the system while it does so. And we're just going to go ahead and not mess around and put... Oh, we have got ground power, GPU on. We'll get the APU started. Looking at a very low cruise of flight level 210, 21,000. Just under 7,000 worth of payload and 6,900 of fuel and 3,200 of payload, which is cargo. And of course we need to do the AP IRS alignment. Still running tests. Give it time to charge up the system first. Pitot heats. Do heats. APU bleed air. APU generator. 8 minutes. Okay, now we can fill in the data on here on airside services. So 131 passengers, that's not much. Excuse me if I sound a little bit clogged, it's very warm, there's lots of pollen in the air at the moment. 6,935, so you want to go back onto fuel. Always made the mistake on the Zebra mod of putting it in the cargo section, but fuel's at the bottom. 6,9. I should really check actually how much we've got on board. So we've already got about 6,000 online inside, so we only need about another 800 on cargo. 3268. That's kg. And activate and then call the fuel truck. So yeah, he's going to be putting in some stuff, some fuel that is, avgas or something a bit stronger into the 737. This is a new generation version, one of the most popular of course. And since we've not been able to successfully connect to VATSIM, I'm going to use obviously a random squawk code. We're going to assume we've just called that for clearance.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Okay, thank you ground crew. Let's clear those messages and let's go to the FMC route. So the route has been downloaded, standard practice, so it's LOT Airlines and number 98 today. Menu. Give me a sec. You can find a lot of stuff on that menu section. Technical. Can't use them of course. And of course, oh, you can find that part. Few flight en route, etc. ACOMS. ECMS. I generally forgotten how to record this flight plan. Bear with me. Route. And then I've gone back to menu and can't find it on there. Index, yes. So click on the initialization reference, but it doesn't take you to the index page, so you have to search for it. So there it is, Echo Golf, Echo Papa Golf Delta, Lima Hotel Bravo Papa is our destination, and then go to the route page, company route, and it should have done it for you. So runway 29 is the runway we're expecting for the early to hotel departure. I think that's a hotel, and then we're actually arriving to hotel as well. Execute that. Let's check all the flight plan data. Yes, there it is. Arrival and departure's gone in nice. Let's see if it's programmed it incorrectly. Yeah, 29. So sometimes hit and miss. I do mention it on streams. It does sometimes not do it. It doesn't put that arrival or standard departure in it. The one thing we haven't got on arrival is the runway. So we've got the arrival, the star, but we've not got the runway, so it's 3-1 right. And we've got an ILS available, we might as well take it. And then for the transition, well, we can skip that. Click route, execute. So yeah, that would just take us the ILS. So we could go a little bit of leeway there to choose what we want for the arrival. Of course, legs. Can't really check them just yet because we haven't got the IRS alignment. As soon as the IRS is aligned in about 4 minutes, we can do that. In the meantime, though, the cleaners are on board. As soon as the cleaners are done, the jetway's connected as well. As soon as they're done, I'm gonna put the lights on so the passengers so we can get on board. Because so far, yeah, jetways are all connected, so it's time for us to close our door. Remember the shortcut key. And get some lights on. I think it's a bit dark. Try and crank the volume at the light percentage up there, about 98, something like that. 90%. Automatic on smoking sign and passenger signs on. So they should start loading. There we go. You remember the last flight I made some adjustments to the cabin layout, the cockpit, so we got more signage up here. Call sign, cabin ready, and a PA in use, but the call sign doesn't really work. Just very slightly disappointed we couldn't go on VATSIM on a Gdansk departure with the Polish Airlines. I mean, look at it, it does look pretty incredible. It beats the Ryanair livery. It beats. I love Ryanair livery. It's very nice, but it beats it by a mile. This one does. It's just a lot lighter in its blues. Although it does use high definition images, the default aircraft on X-Plane don't really use that. Awesome. So we're going to put our navigation lights. Fuels are just refueled itself, so 99% there. The stairs at the back, for some reason, are completely redundant. Let's let them invisible people walk on from wherever else. They should only be getting on the jetway. Let's have a look at our stats today. So I've not got the flight plan open. We should have a flight plan. Let's do it from the Avitab instead of doing the X-Plane features. Let's go into charts. Let's get our aircraft flight plan and bring it into the reality that we're in. So this one. So we got just under 7,000 kg of fuel. We've programmed the departure and the arrival, hopefully. 20,000 feet cruise. We don't know what the initial is yet. We set it on pressurization. We've done the weight. Put the weight in now actually. Is that the IRS? Yes, it is. Perfect timing. And we're gate number 2-1. Back to the fuel and balance. Ground weight, it'll change, but the weight is estimated on here. So zero fuel weight was 55. So that's coming up with 51. Change it to what it says in the flight plan. Estimated. Zero fuel weight. Let's wait. I mean, it might go up. It may go up because of the passengers. So we'll remove that. In terms of fuel, 6.9. Which is what we got on board. I think we've probably got about 2 reserves, about an hour and a half worth of reserves. And the cost index, I haven't checked it. I haven't checked the cost. 54. We're quite cheap on departure on a lot of airlines, but that's good. And then of course 21,000. Outside air temperature 17 degrees. We want the Q&H and 016. Of course I got the sync feature on. I forgot about that, so I've synced the Q&H's, which is good, but it's not been on hectopascals that time. Let's check what's going on display, is it? Visual display. Systems. That's saved. General configuration should be hectopascals. Right, back to the flight plans of 1016. We've got the VORs on the system. We're looking at 5 degrees of flaps. That's normal. And then V1 speeds 147, 149, 54 and 160 respectively. Runway 29. Look down here, it's giving it slightly differently. Overestimating how much power we got, we're going to put it in after we get it off of the computer instead. Okay, transponder's waiting for us. We didn't test the cargo fire. In fact, we didn't test the ABU fire unit either. Let's give that a quick test. Seems like it's functional. We have the paperwork from the last flight. Everything was there, normal. Relatively quick start, 20 minutes. No, we've not done the engines yet. Just got the engines to go and then we're ready to push back. In fact, we're ready to push back now, so let's get connected.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Another 5 minutes. Welcome in. We're glad to see everybody here on a Thursday.
Some doors are still open for the GPU or the ASU are still connected. I'm waiting for all of them closed and disconnected, then I will proceed.
I have no idea what that was. The voice just switched to like an AI female. That was very uncomfortable. Yeah, so welcome in. We're doing this Thursday stream. We did run. What have we done now? We've done it every single day. I think we've done a stream this week on the flight sim, so we'll have to keep doing that. Not every day, but we're going back to 3 days a week. The schedule's not consistent. You'll probably find. So we did, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today, and then we'll be doing tomorrow as well. We're back in the citation. Gdansk to Budapest. Not the first time we've flown there. It probably won't be the last either. The last 737 one was in Aeroflot. The last actual lot airlines was 2 weeks ago from Warsaw to Thessaloniki in Macedonia or Greece.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
He is in fact telling the truth. So yeah, the pushback's going to start. I didn't want to waste any time. I could do a weight and balance. Let's see what it comes up with. So it was slightly over what it estimated, which is normal. I think the maximum is about 58, so we're very close to being overweight. Thank you, flight attendant. Thank you. I need to check the legs. Apologies. So initial altitude, I think we're climbing straight up to 21,000. I was saying 13,000 on that. A steep turn out at the beginning. Anyway, we're going to do full M1. RT on brakes. Standard flaps 5, and the V speeds were a little bit low on sim brief, but they're still very, very close to being accurate. About 146. LNAV. So VNAV won't arm, which means we're not in the correct position for its arm. It doesn't mean it's not working them. Let's try center of gravity, actually that might help. A little bit trim. Now we'll have to wait. I think the climb out's probably going to be a bit too slow for it to calculate it. And that's it. Back to the route. Ah, there we go. Didn't execute it. Right, so pushback time. Let's do this.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
29er. And we've already got a pre-plan on there. Where's runway 29? Let's have a look at our compass. 29 is probably that way. Obviously, we can see where the line is. So we need to be pushed back to the left.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Parking brake is dead.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Controls are alive. We've got the beacons coming on. Fuel boost, pumps, all the fuel pumps. We didn't check the cross center. Cross transfer successfully working. Ground power was never disconnected. Number 1 starting. Fuel at 20%. You learn to recognise it by ear sometimes, just by the sound it makes. You know when the engine's ready for fuel introduction, you know when it's reached 20% N1, N2. Okay, that's number 1 started. Let's go for a number 2 start. And fuel introduction.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Cockpit door area secure. He's lowering the aircraft. We're ready to get going. So generators and APU bleed can come off. Packs can come on. Isolation valve. APU bleed air off. APU off. Just waiting for the tow back, push back man
And
to
we're
go.
disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Awesome, so he's going to signal us on the left. He's got our taxi lights on. Keep an eye out for him, there he is. Don't want to move when he's moving in front of us. Let's get flaps 5. Ah, I forgot you can have AV tab on this. That's pretty cool. So let's wait for his signal, let's give him the thumbs up. Everybody do the thumbs up, thumbs up. We got 2 successful engine starts, we don't need to go back. I'm gonna keep an eye on the map. There's the airport. Okay, au revoir, push back man. We're on the route to Budapest now. Budapest. Look at the taxiways, we're going to have to taxi straight down here and we'll taxi parallel to the runway. When you're in the citation lakes, you don't realise how much room the 737 has on in terms of its view. The window's obviously a lot bigger. And the cockpit is obviously the cockpit's bigger, but it's still cramped. The view from the windows is there's a lot more there. There's a lot more light coming in, whereas the citation you've got a small side window, and obviously the windows themselves are very slim. Okay, rudders all over. Check our control surfaces, ailerons, elevators, and of course rudder. Spoilers as well. All the way down at Alpha, and we're holding point right there, and there's even parking spaces all the way down there. DHL, so they take cargo here. I've noticed it's very remote, this airport. It's not really near anything. Obviously it's next to the sea, but like the town itself and the centre of Gdansk is not near the airport, so might be worth keeping that in mind in case you're going on a trip there. Well, Gdansk, it looks like an amazing place. Like I said, all the port cities and like very famous, and This straight thing here is Kaliningrad. Cool place to go. Let's set our headings to once. What runway are we taking off? 29. It'd probably be a bit off from that. Set the initial altitude as that, 4,500. Clear to just climb, I think, straight up to flight level 210. Seems like general aviation up here. We've got a not a Baron, it's the same brand though, same Beechcraft. They seem to have like a mountain rescue there. Oh no, Navy. It's the American Navy's part though. Only point out for when we do pre-takeoff checklist. It's transponder on to TARA, cabin ready, fantastic, turnout lights, landing lights, continuous ignition. Weather radar on, and we would usually call for clearance, but we've not had any success connecting to the VAT sim. I think it might be server issue, I don't know. We'll have to try again in the future. A few other random buttons there we could push, but I'm not going to. Okay, cleared takeoff. And strobes, of course. Strobes, come on. That's the cabin ready again, is it? Nope. Just preparing for takeoff roll. There we go. 40% N1.
knots.
80 check.
V1 rotate.
V1 rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Check. Flaps 1.
1000.
Check. 1000 feet, 2000. Flaps up. Thing that trims a little bit off is pushing that nose down unless we got a strong, I didn't check the wind, unless we got a strong headwind pushing us. Yeah, about 22, 23 knots there, I thought we did. The actual airspeed, true airspeed is not where I would expect it to be. It's only supposed to be at 220 knots. Just about to see the sea through the clouds. Thankfully, no turbulence on takeoff. Turn out lights. Conditions normal. There's the standard pressure. We may have been able to climb out with less thrust than this, we're quite powerful. I didn't realise we were going to have an initial 220 knot restriction, although it does say on the FMC. There's no altitude restrictions in there. Well then again, there is. I just assumed they were a lot closer, the waypoints were a lot closer together, but obviously they're not that close, so... If we were to engage autopilot now, it would start to descend to 7,000. Obviously for that waypoint, so we're well over altitude, but there's no controller here to tell us otherwise. Anyway, we're just passing 10,000, so landing lights and gear neutral. Keep an eye on the pressurization again. Everything's looking pretty good though. Hand flying these departures is a heck of a lot of fun. A lot more fun than putting an autopilot at 200 feet. So if you are on the simulators and you are flying, sticking that autopilot on early, you might want to hold off. Hand fly the departure, hand fly the approach. It's obviously more experience, isn't it? More hands on. There we go, there's our acceleration point to 280 knots. And we can continue climbing now to 210. Pack seatbelt signs off, or automatic. Yeah, there we go. I think the autopilot is going to stabilise us. I thought he was going to. Sometimes it pitches down so rapidly on engagement that you know that something's wrong. We'll think clear now because I changed the FMC there to 21,000. So yeah, we're on our way to Budapest. Hope you all packed a very good amount of sunscreen and whatever else. It looks like we're in a straight-in departure as well. Oh no, that's the top of descent. But it looks like we may be in for a straight in. Runway 31 right again. And RTO brakes off.
Thousand to go.
1,000 feet to go to 21,000, that is. When we cruise up, level off, excuse me, cruise off, level off, we're going to take a short breather from the cockpit and get a cabin announcement call, and I don't need no buggers involved. We've got the R231 right for off through 2 hotel arrival. It's already programmed. Be sure to use a notepad. I only had it ready because loading up that sim could be a pain. You have to file out the flight plan. It's not a quick and easy process. Okay, 21,000 feet, auto throttle, and I love having the auto throttle, unlike the Citation where it's all manual. Citation's a pleasure, but sometimes it's good to let a computer do it for you. Anyway, let's check the anti-ice situation. We're at -3 degrees, which is not bad. We might even be able to forgo the anti-ice and just put the high bleed air on. Let's do that onto high for a wing anti-ice. Let's see if we get a warning pop up later on. So yeah, we're actually doing very well. The aircraft's been really easy to handle. I don't know why, if it's because there's less passengers than usual. I'm used to 180 or 184 passengers. So 131 is making quite a lot of difference to the handling. If you're obviously a real pilot, you probably notice the difference as well. So yeah, we're going to take a quick breather. Good to see you again, regular viewers, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Stay quiet up here, have you enjoyed the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
return to the cockpit. It is 25 degrees outside. That's 25 Celsius. So it's pretty warm. Well, then again, it is summer. It's great. I'm loving it. Hope you're all having a warm summer where you are. Welcome in, Finders. What is the small keyboard in the middle of the window? Looks like a calculator, but it's not. Okay, so I'm assuming you mean this actual window. Do you mean this small piece of... This is just a bit of card with the compass headings on it? Or is it something else? Yeah, so let's see, because the magnetic compass, let me show you on the cockpit. So the magnetic compass is here. This is not a primary reference, but it's a reference still, in case your electrical systems fail. Anyway, the reference is because the magnetic compass has drift on it, so it will drift. When you turn, you'll notice it's not accurate to the heading that you're flying or turning to. So we're currently heading 165. And it says about 165 on it, but when we turn it'll drift and it won't be accurate. So in that case, standby compass compensated with radio equipment on means that if you want to turn to a certain heading or fly to it, you have to turn to specific headings that aren't that heading, if that makes sense. So to fly to north, you go 000, or you can even do, that says Boeing 737-800. I'm not sure what that is. It says 2019, so it's a bit out of date on it. So basically, it's saying it's accurate on the 737, but on smaller aircraft it wouldn't be accurate. So you would turn, like, so if you want to turn to 060, 060, etc. On a small plane like a Cessna, it might be different. So to fly north, it might be 355, for example. There is actually a way to turn that compass light on as well. So there's an area up here you can click on, but I can never find it, and then you end up finding it by accident. Somewhere where these lights are, and it'll illuminate the compass. That's pretty cool. See, I didn't know you could do that on a tablet, or zooming in that much. Yeah, I've always, to be fair with the compass, I've never understood, like, I understand you need some kind of navigational equipment, but surely with all these technical advancements and all these systems, we're well past using these compasses, because they're never ever accurate. You know, compass drift, it drifts, and the poles change position all the time every year. So they're never 100% accurate anyway. I don't know why we don't just go back to using. Why don't we use a better system, like a more technical system? completely off topic, but it was the Air France, not Air France. It was the air show in France. The weekend just gone. Can't remember the name of it. I think it's the Paris. Of course, the Paris Air Show. The Paris Air Show has just happened. In obviously Paris in France. Lodz. Or maybe there's another pronunciation. Lodz. No idea. I do not know. But we're still in Poland. This is basically a Poland flight today, just over the entire country. So we've flown all the way down from the north in Gdansk. There's Poznan on the left, and we have Warsaw on the right. So yeah, we've come all the way from Gdansk, and you notice Gdynia is right there. Both port cities, and that Bearings, I think it's called the Bering Strait or something, in Kaliningrad, that crosses from Poland to Kaliningrad. It's a beautiful area. Of course, up there where, you know, Estonia and Riga are, etc. Well, Riga's in Latvia, not Estonia. So yeah, Gdansk all the way down. We've gone through a few good places, so we're actually nearly out of Poland. We still got Krakow to fly over. After Krakow, there's the Carpathian Mountains, Bratislava, and of course Wien is Austria. Wien is basically Vienna. München. I like how it's got it in its own language, though. That's pretty cool. So it's obviously München's the German word for Munich. Wien, again the German word. So that's cool. And then you go over to the east and they've got, you know, it's in Polish here, and then you go east and it's in Russian for Belarus. Yeah, Belarus is in Belarusian, and then Russia's in actual Russian itself. So that's very cool. It switches to the language of the country you're over. Anyway, yeah, we're going down south over Bratislava. Is that? I think that might be Slovakia. Then there's Budapest. Not far at all. Zagreb, Croatia. This place, can't pronounce it, but that's Slovenia. Apologies for the radio silence, just whoop somebody's ass on chess. That's one thing, pilot. You are a real pilot. We're still waiting to hear from what pilots do in that cockpit for all those hours. We play chess, they play cards, ping pong perhaps, bit of drop shot basketball. Anyway, flight plan is going pretty well. No hiccups, 200,000 feet. We're actually descending at some obscure waypoint. Our Fox is the arrival though. So when we get to the arrival, we'll start descending through our Fox all the way down. And then it's saying vectors, we don't have ATC. I mean, we could get ATC on X-Plane 12, but it's unlikely they're going to give us the flight plan we filed. If we check on route, so these are the waypoints and things. We'd have to type it all into the ATC box and hope that it works, but it's always hit and miss. Anyway, we're descending down our Fox 2 arrival, 2 hotel, vectors, and then ILS runway 31 right. I'm going to start to do a bit of a checklist now, so I can do the recall enunciation and check the map. Try and get a frequency. I thought we were pretty close, but we're not. Well, actually, we are pretty close. We've got a. Oh, that's Prague. There's Prague. So that's Czech Republic. And then Slovakia is this small place. So, yeah, just over to the left-hand side is Ukraine. That's the right Czech. Checkmate. And then Budapest. Where's the top of the descent? The top of the descent is not for a while, but it seems like the airport is not very far from that top of descent. I can't quite see it. Let's just follow it on the logical way steps. So there's our Fox. Top of descent. Oh, I see it's taken us straight downwind to runway 31. I don't know what that is insinuating. I think that's if we're going around, we follow the blue line back to that approach, but there's a break in there somewhere. Deceleration. And then there's a hop over to this side magically, but there's no connection on the line though, so I don't see how it wants us to do that, and that's a hold pattern if we need to do it. Very interesting. It won't be as strange as that Thessaloniki DME thing. The DME arc at Thessaloniki, that was a one-of-a-kind approach. It really was. Go ahead and set our headings to 3-1. You know, we said it's not quite 310 because the runways are not aligned with the actual headings anymore. And again, that comes back to the magnet and the poles drifting. When they originally built the runways and put the runway numbers there, the magnetic poles shift a little bit, so it's always a little bit different each year. I think we'll be going down to 10,000 initially, and then that'll give us a speed to slow down. Yeah, so initially it'll be 10,000 feet. And final height 2,500 for the approach. Tuning the ILS frequency, 31 right, 109.15. Standard ILS frequency at a lot of airports in the world. Just the system uses that particular frequency. And we check 30 degrees of flaps, so we're landing. What's our landing speed reference? Do we have any? Well, it's saying 30 degrees of flaps. QNH 1017 set. Predicted outside air temperature 31 Celsius. Pretty warm. Limit AFM. Runway length's good. Landed here before, it's an international airport, so everything is expected. Let's see what the NOTAMs say. So NOTAMs are giving us some tower left closed here. And we can even check the arrival, so meaning the airport, L, where's L? There it is, and it even gives you the ATC as well, and it does give you the frequency on there, that's handy, along with the QNH. Wind direction 300 14 knots. Can even put aircraft manuals in. Notepad, in case you want to write anything. Link to your other accounts if you have them. These mountains below, car paved in mountains. Just about see them, there they are. A lot of hikers out today. There's a descent initially to 13,000 feet. Now we're going to be clearing the mountains very soon. And Budapest seems flat. So Slovakia is elevated and mountainous, and then of course Romania and all the Balkan communities. Innsbruck, of course, in the mountains. Hey, there's Monaco, not too far from it. I wonder how long it would take to get from Budapest to Monaco in a barren, beechcraft barren. It would probably take quite a few hours, I imagine. So we're gonna anyway, we're gonna prepare for landing. I got a bit distracted there. I was doing some more chess games, so we get back into the proper cockpit preparation for landing. So we have a checklist. I just clicked on it accidentally, but you can do that. We don't have anything there for descent or landing. That's like a very basic checklist. More detailed one on the tablet, but I already know what to do. So we check the enunciation recall. We've programmed the ILS frequency to 109.5. We've set the QNH 1017. We won't turn it on to standard pressure just yet. And that's about it. Because unless we're going below 10,000 feet, there's not much else to do at this point. RFOX, it's just one part of the arrival I'm a bit unsure of. So straight downwind, but then there's a break in the connection of the line. So you'll see here we have a good smooth flight. There's a holding pattern there for us in the blue line, and then once we get to Nikra, there's no purple line there. So I'm wondering if we have to hand fly the approach. It's an ILS approach, so I can't see how we should be hand flying it. But yeah, from NIT, hopping across to that. Of course, runway 31 right. Recalculate the altitudes based on what we're going down to, which is 13,000, and afterwards it'll be 10,000 feet. Of course, increase the speed now, we're lower down as well, 300 knots.
Thousand to go.
Let's go ahead and connect the line for the computer. It's not doing it for us. We'll do it. That's going to give us a very steep turn. I understand why they might have given us vectors now if it was that steep. So we'll fly that and slow down and prepare for landing, because from BP865 we have a good amount of distance before the runway. 4.6 and 6.4. Hopping over the line now into Hungary from Slovakia. There we go, we're in it now, just about. As soon as we cross over that black line, purple line, we're in Hungary. And Budapest is literally right there, so we should be able to see, we can see the river that separates both sides, the Buda and Pest, of course. Both sides of the rivers have different names. I think we're going to be following that river all the way down to the center, so I can see it running right round, just in the distance there, and then it'd probably be, I don't think the scenery spawned in yet, but it'll be there somewhere. Oh, hang on, we have a castle. We have some scenery. Castle, something else. It's on its own though, but it looks pretty cool. So they must have put some effort into Budapest. I think Budapest might be one of the custom sceneries with X-Plane 12, along with things like, you know, London and New York. I'm just going to check on the system. Custom scenery. So they have quite a few custom sceneries, and yeah, Budapest. Budapest is custom scenery on X-Plane 12. That's very cool. Along with Salzburg, you know, there's loads of them. Rio de Janeiro, Sydney, San Francisco, Salzburg, Portland, Paris, New York, Los Angeles, London. Las Vegas. So yeah, they've made an effort on Budapest. A bit strange they didn't. They'd made the effort on Budapest, but not on somewhere like Moscow or St. Petersburg, which should really be included in that list of capitals. But it seems to be mostly American ones. Like Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Washington. So they've covered a lot of American places. They've even got Chicago. Yeah, strange choices. Pro-American, of course. Right, we really need to get down to ideal height. So we need to just start descending to 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet. Top of descent in a second. That was very cool seeing that little castle, the building, but the scenery's not spawning. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness. Some scenery. Looks not too bad on the layout. Strange formation on the paths. You'll have to, if anyone's watching this and catch up, let me know what that building is that I just saw before. Ah, left side, right side has a better view. Budapest. Awesome, and then down there's the like bigger buildings. There's more buildings there. That looks nice. That blue one there looks pretty cool. Well, I'll have to fly over these in a smaller plane and check them out. Too high up to get a good view of it at the moment. Have to zoom in a lot. So they put a few landmarks. I'm assuming there's some kind of royal palace there somewhere. We've already crossed the threshold for standard pressure, so 1017. Flaps extending. Very cool. All the way to 5 degrees. Slowing down to about 170. Cabin's ready for landing, thank you. Over here on the hydraulics. This always happens, I can't change it, I can't get rid of it. Adjacent to the runway, there's the runway. Coming down nice and steady. Ready for that turn onto base leg and then final. Incredible. I never thought we'd get to the point where flight simulators would be this detailed and realistic. It really is amazing. The plane itself is brilliant. The detail on it, the physics on it. It's a big advancement from 20 years ago. Or games from 20 years ago, that is. Let's extend the downwind because we're not going to be down in time. That turn is not going to be realistic. What we're going to do is just going to put it straight to final. Probably BP865, so we copy that. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to somehow get final. Usually it would say final, but it's coming up with obviously BP's Budapest, but it's not coming up with a final approach line. Let's try. No, let's get rid of that. We'll have to do it when we're a bit further down, but this will give us time to slow down. On the speed brakes. Auto brake 1. Q&H is set, landing lights on. Cabin's depressurising nicely. Cabin altitude's all the way down now. Differential pressure as well is reducing. $10 degrees of flaps. $60-knot headwind, 15 and 16-knot headwind, my goodness. So whatever the landing reference is, let's check our landing reference speed actually. So 30 degrees of flaps at 153. Now that's the target speed, but because we've got a 15 to 16 knot headwind, we're going to have to add 15 or 16 knots, otherwise it's going to be 15 or 16 knots too slow. So if we're going at 153, our real speed is probably going to be more like, it's going to be slower. It's going to be a lot slower than that. So yeah, I mean a true airspeed is already 17, 16 knots above what we're indicated, which is obviously the tailwind. When we turn around, it'll be facing the other direction. A little bit boring to explain it, but that's the reality of an aviation thing, isn't it? Those with the steering was good when we took off. Just keep an eye out for that turn. One thing we do have on a lot of airlines is these scimitar winglets. I didn't notice that, but some of the 737s just have the standard winglets. These are scimitar, however, split down the middle. Give it a better aerodynamic effect.
Thousand to go.
Let's turn final. Turn base leg and final. 15 degrees of flap, slowing down to 160. There's a gear warning. Let's maintain 165. I don't know what this plane's doing. It's all over the place. Autopilot is always a mess on this. One of the disappointments about the mod, even though it's a good looking plane and it does some good features, is it's all over the shop. I mean, look, it's not even maintaining 2,500 feet. There's a runway, we're well off the runway, so that's a bit disappointing. VOR lock perhaps. Looks like the ILS is not tuned on this particular approach, which is a shame. Just means it's not going to line us up properly. I'm kind of tempted to just hand fly this thing at this point because the autopilot's messed up. And the trim wheel is gone completely crazy. 30 degrees of flaps. Degrees, 15 knots. Keep that in mind. The landing true airspeed is going to be wrong or different. VOR lock's been successful. Okay, fully established localizer. Let's set the go around. Well, not fully established, but established on it. So 3,000 feet go around height. Ignition continuous. Seatbelt signs on. Flaps at 30. Gear down. Lights. ILS frequency transponders. Recall successful. Cleared to land. Runway 31 right. Budapest.
1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
It is, indeed. So we're going to continue for now. Autopilot's coming off. It's very, very windy. Strong winds. We'll keep the autothrottle on. A lot of that wing action there. I'll keep it stabilised as much as I can do, but it's probably because the headwind's so strong. Autothrottle's coming off.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Reversers, spoilers.
knots.
80 knots. Start the reversers, please. The high-speed turn out. I think these are actually closed in real life, so we've broken realism. We broke the realisticness. Ah, good landing. Good landing overall. I enjoyed it. Slow the big beast down to a suitable speed for taxi. Okay, APU's coming on, landing lights off. APU on, taxi lights. Strobes off. Let's find a parking space, shall we? There's plenty of room. A lot of Ryanair here again. Retract the flaps. Isolation valve open. Transponder can come back to standby, or mode C as they call it. Just let the ATC know we're still alive. APU generated, APU bleed there. I'll wait till we park up for that. Hey! We actually managed to get a good rating for the approach this time. Approach rating great, and landing rating great, so maybe it does work after all. So yeah, good. Good job, Captain. No bloody applause on landing though. Ah, there's tons of room. I was hoping we was gonna get a jetway. I think we might. These ones at the front don't have jetways, but the ones at the back probably do. See a huge Emirates over there. Maybe a 777 probably. Polish Lot Airlines, by far one of the best liveries to fly. Makes the aircraft a lot more enjoyable. Oh, they are jetways though. I didn't see them, so we'll park up here on the left. 20 knots, we're probably speeding. Let's go ahead and park right there where that jetway is. Number 42. Turn off lights off. Taxi lights off. Beacons off while we shut down the engines, ignition's off. APU is on, fuel pumps, leave one on for now for the APU. Forward cargo doors opening. Recirculation fans, packs off. Hydraulic controls off the controllers so we don't accidentally turn an aileron and kill somebody. We didn't turn trim air on that time. We left the trim air off and it did only got up to about 22 degrees in the cabin, which is not too bad at all. Fuel warning, packs unloading, jetway successfully connected. What an absolute pleasure of a flight that was. I will look forward to see you on the next one. The rear door's not been connected to the stairs this time, which is even better. Has the door opened? Yes, it has. So it works on arrival, just sometimes not on departure. We got 4 stars approach landing and approach landing and approach rating, excuse me, and landing. Great airline to fly with on the simulator. A lot of airlines, so it's been a good, enjoyable flight. And I hope to see you all on tomorrow's stream in the Citation X. Take care and have a fantastic Thursday evening. Goodbye.